न गुरो रधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरो रधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति कृपालु गुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं ह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। I'm going to explain one of the childhood pastimes of Shri Krishna. This is from Prem Ras Madira, and the Madhuri that this is a part of is Shri Krishna Bal Leela Madhuri, one of his childhood pastimes, where Shri Krishna, Shyam Sundar, little Kanhaiya says, Mayyari, main nahi mati khayo. I believe the words are in front of you in the screen. मैं नहीं माटी खायो मैयारी मैं Today, Thakurji is having a bad day. You might be thinking, how can God have a bad day? Who is Thakurji? He is the Lord of Lords. He is the Supreme Lord of innumerable universes. Countless lords are under his control. He is the greatest. He is the topmost. Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, Arjun, there is no one who is greater than myself. So how can he have a bad day? However, anyone who comes to this world will have good days and bad days, even though he may be God himself. You see, काजल की कोठरी में कैसो ही सयानो जाए, काजल की एक रेख लागी है पे लागी है. If you go into a room that stores a lot of kajal, collyrium, which is all black, in the olden days, kajal was actually medicinal. It was not used for makeup, but it was used for to cure diseases of the eye. So let's say there's a lot of kajal in a room and you go there, and no matter how careful you are, you're going to get some kajal on you, on your clothes, on your body. So even if it's God himself, when he comes down to earth, he will have good days and bad days. How is this a bad day for Thakurji? Well, his Maya, his mother Yashoda, has caught him, and she's asking, did you eat dirt? Because she has been getting many complaints. So she corners him and said, Kanhaiya, did you eat dirt? She says very sternly. And he says, Maya, I did not. And what's the truth? He has. He has eaten dirt, but he tells a white lie. He says, Maya, I did not eat dirt. Not being aware of his yoga maya, and not being guided by a genuine saint, a guru, many people have this doubt that he's telling us not to tell lies, but he tells lies. Why is he telling lies? He tells us, Satyam vada, speak the truth. Satyad na pramaditavyam, do not deviate from the path of truthfulness. Satyam vada dharmanchara, always abide by dharma. Do your duty, speak the truth. Do not go away from the path of truth and dharma. Why is he then telling lies? Isn't that wrong? And we are told that the one who tells lies, he's committing a sin, and after death, he will be sent to a hell named Avici. There are many hells, 28 all in all, and one of them is Avici. And one who tells lies will be sent to that hell. So what about Thakurji himself? Well, he has graduated from Maya. He's the Lord of Maya. He hasn't just graduated from Maya. Saints graduate from Maya. The Sadhan Siddha Mahapurush, who were once like us, but then they surrendered to God and they became graduates. They graduated from Maya. Maya cannot harm them in the least. And they're not accountable for listening to the instructions of the Vedas. But we are definitely accountable for what we are doing. If we follow the laws of the Vedas, we're doing the right thing, then we are not sinners. But if we go away from the Vedas, the teachings of the Vedas, then we are committing sins, we are making mistakes. Now God is the Lord of Maya. Maya is the handmaiden of God. So dasi Raghubir ki, says Tulsidas Ji. Maya is a handmaiden, a dasi of Bhagwan Shri Ram. So God is exempt from all the rules of Maya and all the laws of Maya. And the Vedas, he is exempt from the laws of the Vedas. He does not have to follow them. It's just like parents talking to their children. Parents say to the child, you must go to school. And the child says, but you don't go to school. Why do I have to? Naively, the child says, I don't have to go to school because mommy, daddy, you don't go to school. They say, we have graduated already. We don't have to go. We don't have to go to school. but you do. So God is not held accountable. Shri Krishna is not committing a sin if he tells lies. He's not committing a sin if he steals butter or buttermilk. The entire creation is his. So how can you steal something which is yours already? And he's not accountable for his actions. He will not suffer if he tells lies, and he is beyond virtue as well. Scriptures say, Anyatra dharma danyatra dharmat. वो पुण्य से भी परे है, पाप से भी परे है. पाप और पुण्य भगवान को छू नहीं सकते. पाप और पुण्य का फल तो हम मनुष्यों को मिलता है. हम मायाधीन हैं. जो मायाधीश है, माया जिनको अपना स्वामी बोलती है, वो उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि वो सत्य बोलें या झूठ बोलें, चोरी करें या कभी भी चोरी ना करें, क्योंकि वो पाप पुण्य से परे हैं. So God is beyond virtue as well as vice. If we ordinary people, if we follow dharma, if we are doing the good thing, people say you're a good person because you follow your dharma. If we follow the dictates of dharma, then we are doing punya, and we will be rewarded. We will be sent to Swargalok after death. If we follow the path of adharma, the opposite, then we are sent to hell after death. So we are bound by our actions. It does not need to be said, but I will say it, that God is not bound by actions. His every action is for the welfare of humanity. He does not need to gain anything. He doesn't need to get anything. We all have something to gain, and that is why we do what we do. We want happiness, so we are doing many things. We do so many works because we want something. Behind all our actions is the desire for happiness. Now, on the other hand, God is happiness. He is happiness which is unlimited, everlasting, and ever increasing. It's just that happiness keeps on growing with every moment that passes. So, what could God want that he does not have? Fact is, even the ones who attain God realization, they do not want anything now. They also work for the welfare of humanity. And their actions also do not bear fruits. Even saints, they tell a lot of lies. Like Tulsidas Ji, in Vinay Patrika, he says, Hari ho sab patitan koti ko, mo sam kaun kutil khal kami. I am the worst of all sinners. Now that's a lie, because he is surrendered to God, fully surrendered, but he is saying, no, I am the worst of all sinners. The gopis are known to be the greatest saints, and they told a lot of lies. A married gopi is leaving her home early in the morning, and her mother-in-law asks, Bahu kahan ja rahi hai? Where are you going? And the gopi tells a lie, and she says, Mataji, I am going to sell butter that I have churned, and I am going to sell curd. And the mother-in-law says, बहुत अच्छी है ये तो, बहुत अच्छी निकली, बिल्कुल आलसी नहीं है. She's not lazy at all. My bahu is so good. And she goes, jao, jao, jao. And she sends her off very happily. How does a mother-in-law know what the gopi is up to? Vikretu kama khila gopa kanya murari padarpita chitta vrittihi dadhyadikam moha vashadavochat govinda damodar madhaveti. So many gopis are using the same excuse, and all of them end up with the containers of buttermilk and fresh butter, balancing them on the pots on their heads, they all end up in front of Yashoda and Nanda Baba's house. All of them, they don't go anywhere else. And they start hawking their goods, like hawkers do. Taza taza makhan le lo. They go like this, they call out so the public may hear them, people may hear them, and they may come out of their homes and they may buy the products. But they're only going to Nanda and Yashoda's house, and they're hawking their curd. Meetha meetha dahi le lo. They're saying, sweet curd for sale. Fresh butter for sale. Do they not know that Nanda and Yashoda have about 1 million cows? 900,000 cows. And only 2 boys, 2 children, but only Krishna and Balram. That's it. 900,000 cows. Yashoda was giving makhan away. She was giving butter, freshly churned butter away. She was giving dahi and milk away liberally to people, to the helpers, to people who work for her, to beggars, everyone. And the gopis they're standing outside Nanda and Yashoda's house. And Thakurji is inside and he's listening, but he does not come out. He knows what they're there for. He knows that these gopis, he knows that they love him and they just want his darshan and they want his touch if possible. But he does not go out. Why? Is he heartless? No, he wishes to increase their love for him by not giving them darshan. You see, gold becomes purer when it passes through fire. Every goldsmith makes the gold pass through fire, so the gold lets go of its impurities and becomes very pure. In the same way, love increases when it is made to pass through the fire of separation. So Thakurji remains inside, and the gopis' love grows, it intensifies, and their desire to see him, for his darshan, it increases. Eventually, the gopis go into a state of prem samadhi. And then what happens is they no longer say, sweet curd for sale, fresh butter for sale. Now what are they saying? Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. Govind for sale. Madhav for sale, Damodar for sale. पहले तो गोपियां कह रही थी ताजा ताजा मक्खन ले लो, मीठा मीठा दही ले लो. जब समाधि में चली गई, जब ठाकुर जी बाहर नहीं आए और प्रेम बढ़ता गया, तो प्रेम समाधि में चली गई. अब पूरी तरह से श्री कृष्ण के ध्यान में समाधिस्थ हो गई, तो अब बोलती हैं, अरे गोविंद ले लो, माधव ले लो, दामोदर ले लो. So Thakur ji then hears them and he responds and he comes out and he gives them darshan. And then the gopis are beside themselves with happiness, and in that state the pots of butter and buttermilk, they all fall on the ground and they break because they're made of clay. And then Thakurji, little Thakurji, who's crawling on all fours, he goes into this muddy playground and he splashes all around. His hands and his tiny little lotus feet, he splashes in that mud. And Yashoda Maiya, inside the house, she thinks, I'm not hearing him. He was in the yard, in the courtyard, in the angan. I don't hear him. So she comes rushing out and he's missing. And she goes out and there he is, playing in that muddy playground. And she scolds him. She says, Kanhaiya, it seems to me that you were a pig in your last life. You love mud so much. I just gave you a bath half an hour ago. Look at what you've done to yourself. And Thakurji smiles inside, not outwardly. He smiles on the inside and he says, Maiya, you are so right. He thinks about his Shukra avatar and he thinks, yes, I was a pig in my last life. You are right. But outwardly, he looks scared of Maiya, and she takes him inside sternly and gives him a bath all over again. So the gopis are lying Tulsidas, Surdas, they all tell lies. Mirabai tells a lie. She pretends as if she doesn't love Krishna at all. Jo main aisa janti, प्रीत करे दुख होय, नगर ढिंढोरा पीटती, प्रीत न की जो कोय. She says, had I known that there would be so much, I would be suffering so much just because I fell in love with Krishna, I would have broadcast all over town that nobody should fall in love with him because he'll give you nothing but sorrow and suffering. She's telling a lie because she's head over heels in love with him, and the pain that she's experiencing is a sweet pain. It is a pain that the greatest saints experience. It is a pain that the great yogis wish to experience, but they don't, because for that you need to love him. So Mirabai is telling a lie, Surdas tells a lie, Tulsidas, the gopis, they're all telling lies, but they're not punished for telling their lies. And as for Shri Krishna, well, everything about him is sweet. His truth is sweet, his lies are sweet. His reality is sweet, and his artificiality is sweet. Madhuradhipate rakhilam madhuram. Everything about the Lord of sweetness is sweet, sweet, very sweet. Everything. In fact, his reality is not as sweet as his artificiality. His reality is that he is the father of all living beings. He is the Lord of the Devtas in Swargalok. He is the Lord of countless Brahmas, Vishnus and Shankars. He is the Lord of all, he is the father of all, yet that's not as sweet as the artificiality, which is that he is Nandalal. He is Vasudev. He is Kaushalya Nandan. He is Dasharathi. That he is the son of Nanda Baba. He is the son of Vasudev, hence Vasudev. He is the son of Kaushalya Nandan. He is the son of Dasharath Nandan, Dasharathi. He is the son of Yashoda Nandan, Devaki Nandan. That's not his reality. But we love him so much more as Yashoda Nandan, son of Yashoda, Nanda Nandan. When a devotee, one who is in love with Shri Krishna, when he goes through the Bhagavad, he flips the pages that talk about Shri Krishna as a supreme Lord of innumerable universes. But when he reads the parts about Yashoda getting ready to beat Krishna, little Krishna, with a stick, then he reads those pages again and again. When he reads that Krishna he conquered so many demons and killed Putna and Aghasur, Pakasur, yeah, that's okay, he gets bored. But when he reads about Thakurji playing with his friends, cowherd boys, and when he reads about the fact that Thakurji becomes a horse for all his friends to ride upon, then he relishes that nectar. He reads those pages again and again. Shri Maharaji had also told us, you can read the Bhagavad, but no need to go through the entire Bhagavad. Read the Ras Panchadhyay. Ras Panchadhyay in the 10th canto. Chapters 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Because that is the essence of the Bhagavatam. That is the heart and soul of the Bhagavad. That is where the ras is. That is where the nectar is. So Thakurji's reality is not as sweet as his artificiality. His reality is that he frightens even Yamraj. He's so fear-inspiring that the one who frightens everyone, Yamraj, the angel of death, he is frightened of Thakurji. Bhayadasyagnistabati bhayatapati surayah bhayadendrascha vayuscha mrityur dhavati Panchamaha, say the Vedas. But he, in the form of Bhagwan Shri Ram, he says to Lakshman, Ghan ghamand ghan garjat ghora priyahin darpat man mora. Lakshman, there are dark clouds rumbling in the sky, and I'm so afraid listening to their frightening sound. But if my Sita were beside me, I would not have been afraid. Are you afraid of dark clouds, the lightning in the sky? Yes. And you're the same Lord who makes even Yamraj tremble with fear? Yes. So he's both. That his reality and there's his artificiality. His reality is that he doesn't need anyone or anything. He is happiness himself. He is Anand. Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. But his artificiality is that he's running after the gopis, begging for their love. He wants their attention. And he'll get their attention any which way. He doesn't need anyone. But his artificiality is that he will go after the gopis. He's begging for their love. Devotees are fans of his artificiality. And why not? We don't want to think of him as a supreme Lord because that frightens us. We don't want to think of him as Mahavishnu because that's a very majestic aspect of his. We want to think about him as the loving master, as our loving friend, eternal loving friend, as our loving child, and most importantly, as our loving beloved. Many people say, we're not fit to think of him as our beloved. We must always think of him as our master, and we must think that we are his servants. Shri Maharaj was asked this question. Maharaj, some people say that we should not think of him as a beloved. We are not eligible. Shri Maharaj said we're not even eligible to be his servants. But he allows us. He gives us his grace. So true, we're not eligible to, we're not deserving of thinking him to be our beloved. We're not deserving of that relationship, but we're not even deserving of the servant-master relationship. But he allows us to think of him in every possible way. And it is most beneficial when we form a lover-beloved relationship with him, madhurya bhav. तो भगवान की जो असलियत है उससे हमें इतना रस नहीं मिलता जितना कि उनकी बनावट से मिलता है. उनकी जो असलियत है वो है भगवान है, अनंत ब्रह्मांड के मालिक हैं, अनंत ब्रह्मांड के पालक हैं, शासक हैं. हमें डर लग जाता है जब हम ये सुनते हैं तो. और जब हम ये सुनते हैं या पढ़ते हैं कि वो छोटे से हैं, बालक हैं और यशोदा ने उनको गोदी में उठाया हुआ है, या छोटे से ठाकुर जी जब नंद बाबा घर पे आए, वो कंस के यहाँ गए थे कर देने के लिए, जब वापस आते हैं तो छोटे से ठाकुर जी जब देखते अपने बाबा को तुरंत दौड़ के उनकी चप्पल लेके आते हैं, उनकी पादुका लेके अपने सिर पे धारण करके लेके आते हैं, अपने बाबा को देते हैं. फिर बाबा उनको उठा लेते हैं और उनको चूमते हैं, उनको चिपटाते हैं. हमें तो ये बातें अच्छी लगती हैं क्योंकि इनमें रस है, रस है. हम रस के प्यासे हैं. हमें ऐश्वर्य नहीं चाहिए, हमें माधुर्य चाहिए. हम माधुर्य के उपासक हैं, ऐश्वर्य के नहीं. So we want the artificiality of Thakurji. Now, there's a doubt that enters the mind, and that is that when Thakurji looks like he's frightened of his mother because his mother is holding a tiny stick in her hand, but she uses it very effectively. Like all mothers know how to frighten their kids. And so what Yashoda does is she takes a little stick and she waves it up and down. She hardly uses it, but she uses it as a scare tactic. And so when she has a stick in her hand, she's waving it up and down, he thinks, oh my goodness, I'm going to get beaten. I'm going to get a beating. I don't know where the stick is going to land. On my head? Oh, that's going to hurt. On my back? Ouch. Already he's feeling the pain. Nothing has happened yet. So a devotee says, Gopyada de tavakrita gasidhamata vadyate dashashru kalilanjana sambritaksham vaktram niniya bhayabhavaya nasthitasya sa me vimohayati bhira piyadvibheti. A devotee says, when I see you and you are so afraid of your mother. In fact, Kunti had said this. She said, when I see you, Kanhaiya, that you are so afraid of the little stick held in Yashoda's hand, and when you just look at that stick, you start crying, and the kajal, the collyrium in your eyes, it mixes with the tears, and then it rolls down your cheeks. When I see you becoming so afraid, I'm baffled that you make even fear afraid, and you're afraid of a little stick. So our question then is he really scared? Does he really fear? I'm sure he doesn't. That's an act, right? He's putting on an act. How could God be afraid? That's impossible. But he's not putting on an act. Really? It's not an act. It's real. But then our material intellect says, how is it real? I don't understand. Yogamaya is a power that God has, and he gives it to whoever attains him. So Yogamaya is a power of God. And Yogamaya, whenever he wishes to do so, Yogamaya makes him forget who he is. So when he takes birth as a son of Nanda and Yashoda, he's being raised by them. So he only knows that this is my father, Nanda Baba, that's my father, and Yashoda Maiya, that's my Maiya, that's my mother. That's the only thing he knows. He doesn't think I'm God, but I'm just pretending to be a little boy. No, I'm a little boy and I'm very small. Maiya is so much taller, Baba is so much taller. And when Maiya gives me chase, I can't keep up. She catches me quickly. Or when she gives me chase, she will capture me very quickly. He starts to cry. He only thinks at that time that he's a little boy. Now, you may think, well, I forget a lot, so is Krishna just like me? He forgets a lot. He's forgetful. A lot of us say, I'm beginning to forget so much. Oh my goodness. I wonder if one day I'll remember my own name. Memory cells are dying very, very rapidly. So is Thakurji also in the same situation? No, we have no control over our forgetfulness. However, he has complete control over his forgetfulness. So whenever he wants, he puts his knowledge aside. He says to his knowledge, you go away. To his Aishwarya Shakti, the power of majesty, he says, don't come near me. I am going to be the son of Nanda and Yashoda. I am going to be the beloved of the gopis. I am going to be friends of these Gwalbal, these cowherd boys. And that's all I want to know. I don't want to know that I'm God. I don't want to know anything else. So majesty goes away, his knowledge that he's the Supreme Lord, he puts that in the back burner, and now he feels, he experiences that he is a little child. So Maiya has found him guilty. He has been eating dirt, but he says, I have not eaten dirt. And little children, they will say, and Kanhaiya says, Maiya, I swear on your head, I didn't eat dirt. Maiya, I swear on Baba's head, I did not eat dirt. Kanhaiya would often say, I swear on Yamuna, I did not eat dirt. I swear on Ganga Maiya, I did not eat dirt. I swear on God, I swear to God, I did not eat dirt. But as children do, he forgets very easily. He has promised Maya countless times that he will never eat dirt again, but then he has eaten dirt again and again. Little children forget. Adults do not. There are many things we don't forget. Adults don't forget. If only we could forget like children. For instance, if you scold the child runs away crying, but after a few minutes you speak lovingly to the child will once again come to you. The child has forgotten how you treated him a while earlier. But adults don't forget. You told me to get out of your house 10 years ago, and I have made a promise. How dare you invite me now to your daughter's wedding? I made a promise 10 years ago that I will never set foot in your house. I know you're my sister, but I will never speak with you again. I'll never visit you again. We don't forget these things. Children do. So Kanhaiya has promised his Maya, Yashoda, that he will never eat dirt again, but he does it again and again. And one day, one of his friends, Shri Dama, came to Mother Yashoda and he said, Maya, I just wanted to let you know that your Ladala, your darling son, has been eating dirt. I saw him myself. Yashoda tere lala ne maati khai. This is the story he's telling Yashoda. It's a truth also. मेरे संग खेले नहीं दूर ही खेलन को जाए ब्रज की तरेटी में अकेलो ही चराए गाए एक दिन मैं हुआ कि ढिग ही पे पहुंचो जाए तो देखा कान्हा ढेले में ते कोरी कोरी माटी खाए मैंने जो कहा कि तेरे मैया सो कहूंगो जाए तो पुनी करत लड़ाई यशोदा तेरे लाला ने माटी खाई. Maya, this darling son of yours, Kanhaiya, he disappears. We all go to graze cattle and we all take turns grazing cattle, but he goes missing in action. So I decided to follow him today. Where does he go? And I followed him. He didn't know I was there. And I saw him. He was looking to the right, to the left, behind, and all that. I was hiding behind bushes. Then I saw that he sat in front of a mound of dirt and he was eating dirt with both his hands. Maya, he was so greedy for dirt. I saw him with my own eyes. We use this expression, don't we? I saw this with my own eyes. As if we could see with somebody else's eyes. Or as if we could see with our ears or mouth. We have to say, no, I saw it with my own eyes. So this is what Shri Dama is saying. Now Maya is beyond angry. And she's waiting. She got the stick ready. She's waiting for him. And Kanhaiya comes in playing the flute. He is very happy, jovial as he always is. He's jumping, dancing. He's in a good mood. Only then he notices Maya's mood. And then he's serious too. He's thinking, what happened? What could have happened? Did Maya see me? No, she couldn't have seen me because she was nowhere there. And then he says, Maya, why are you looking so angry? And Maya says, your friend came, Shri Dama came and has complained against you. You have been eating dirt, haven't you? And again, he tells a lie. The dirt is sticking to the roof of his mouth, to his gums, to his teeth, but he tells a flat out lie very confidently. That's a trick. Tell a lie very confidently, people will believe you. But a mother is a mother. So he says, Maya, you're so innocent. Anybody can fool you. And Shri Dama is really devious. And he's a big liar. You don't know Maya? You don't know he's a big liar? Didn't his Maya tell you? She tells everybody in the village that he's a liar. And Yashoda is looking very serious. So he says, okay, Maya, I'll tell you what happened. एक दिन श्री दामा ने छाछ मांगी एक घूंट मैंने वाको दई नहीं तासों गयो मैया रूठ ताही सो बनाई सब बात यह झूठ मूठ, मिले गो श्री दामावा को मारूंगो मैं कूद कूद। अरे झूठी आन लगाई यशोदा तेरे लाला ने माटी खाई। Maya, Shri Dama asked me for some of the chas that you had made for me, some of the buttermilk. But I showed him my thumb and I said, I'm not going to give you any of mine. Go ask your own Maya. So he got really vexed with me, got really angry with me. And he said, Kanhaiya ke bacche, mujhe छाछ नहीं देगा? नहीं दूंगा। अच्छा मैं भी तुझे मजा चखाऊंगा। मैं मैया के पास जाके झूठी शिकायत करूंगा। मैया आ जाके उसने कर दिया अपना काम और तू मान गई, इतनी भोली भाली है। दूसरे के बच्चे के ऊपर इतना भरोसा और अपने बच्चे के ऊपर इतनी शंका, बड़े दुख की बात है मैया। Kanhaiya is very clever. He's very good with words. And he says, Maya, Shri Dama is just angry with me because I did not give him buttermilk. So he wants to get even with me. That's why he has complained to you. Oh, I see. That's the way it is then. Yes, Maya. And Kanhaiya thinks, good. Maya has accepted my lie and I'm good. And Maya is going to put that stick away. But Maya said something very unexpected. Unexpectedly, she said, Kanhaiya, I don't believe you. You open your mouth and let me see if you have eaten dirt, because he has not had chance to rinse his mouth, right? He just came in. And Kanhaiya thinks, Bapre, now I'm in big trouble. Because Maya she will examine my mouth and there's dirt all over in my mouth, sticking to the roof of my tongue, to my teeth, to my gums, and she'll know the truth. And I'm going to get beaten by the stick. So Kanhaiya becomes so afraid that his mouth opens all by itself. He didn't try to open his mouth, it involuntarily opened. And then what happened was, Yogamaya came in. Yogamaya thought, I know my Swami, my Lord, told me not to come in over here, but how can I how can I just look at him getting a beating from Yashoda Maya? I cannot. Yashoda Maya, Swarup Shakti, Yogamaya came in, and when Yashoda Maya examined the mouth of her little child, in that little mouth, she saw innumerable universes, countless Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, and she couldn't believe what she was seeing, and she fell unconscious. And when she regained consciousness, then she thought, oh, I've been hallucinating. I was out in the sun for a long time. That's what happened. And then everything was back to normal. Kanhaiya will keep on eating dirt. He will continue to perform these sweet pastimes. And Yashoda Maya loves these antics that her son is always performing. She loves him. She scolds him externally because she is a good mother. She thinks, if my child is doing something wrong, I have to discipline him. I have to chastise him. Otherwise, he'll turn out to be a really bad person. He will get used to telling lies and he'll get used to stealing and so on. So she's being a great mother who gives discipline and love in equal amounts. And when she scolds him, she does it out of love. And Kanhaiya, when he's getting a scolding, he really does feel afraid. It is not an act, we must understand that. Because of Yogamaya, he makes himself forget who he is. Otherwise, you see, Yashoda and Nanda Baba and the gopis, nobody could have loved him. Imagine that Yashoda knows him to be God. How could she ever scold him? He would get away with everything. As we say in the world, he would get away with murder. She would never scold him. She would always be doing arti to him. And he's doing whatever he wants to do. And she's just in awe of him, and she's thinking, oh, this is God, and she'll be doing arti, and no. One day, when Thakurji saw his friends looking at him with reverence, when he had lifted the Govardhan hill on the strength of the edge of the nail of the baby finger of the left hand. He had been lifting the mountain for 7 days. And then his friends had said, "Oh Kanhaiya, your left hand must be tired. Why don't you switch hands and let Sri Dhamma support the mountain?" Then what happened was that the elderly, they started saying, "This boy is extraordinary. He's not an ordinary boy. He's a godly power who has come here to help us." And after that, the little boys, the friends of Lord Krishna, they started looking at him with awe and reverence. And he started to cry. And they said, "Why are you crying?" He said, "You're looking at me funny. You're giving me funny looks. I don't want that." He doesn't want his friends to look at him with awe and reverence. He wants the friends who will scold him. They'll say, "Kanhaiya, do you think you're someone special? When it's time for you to do the work, you run away. You play the flute somewhere, or you're picking fruits off a tree. Who are we? Your servants?" He likes that. He likes it when he becomes a horse for his friends to ride upon. That's what he loves. So this sweet Leela that Sri Maharaj Ji has gifted to us in Prem Ras Madira, "Maiya ri, main nahi marti khayo." I'll just quickly go over the words and the meaning. So Maiya has tied Kanhaiya up to the ukhal, the grinding stone, or it's made of wood, and it's what she uses to grind flour and rice and so on. She has tied him to that, and she's ready to beat him with a stick. Krishna is saying, "Maiya, I did not eat any dirt." Jaki bhrikuti vilas pralaya soi santi lakhi dar payo. The one who destroys innumerable universes by raising his eyebrows is afraid of a thin stick. Do kar udar bandhe damodar drig jhar jhar jhari layo. Both his hands, kar meaning hand, udar meaning the stomach, hands and his are tied to his stomach, and tears with a rope, and tears are falling from his eyes. Mati mariya maiya mohi bhaiya gaya nit hankavayo. Thakurji says, "Maiya, don't beat me. Listen to me first. Bhaiya always makes me drive the cows every day, control the cows every day. Tu barajati lalan gayan vich bhuli ka bahu jani jayo." और तू मुझसे कहती है, "लल्ला, तू गायों के बीच मत जाया कर, तू छोटा है अभी." You always tell me not to go near the cows, not even by mistake, because they're so big and I'm so small. Aaju na gayo bahoran gaya bhaiya mohi dhamkayo. Today I didn't go to drive the cows, and bhaiya threatened me that he would have me beaten up by you. Hare kali khel mahamote yahute khisiayo. Another reason is that yesterday he lost the game we were playing and he was embarrassed. कहते हैं कि बलदाऊ भैया उनको बहुत झेप आ रही थी, क्योंकि कल मैंने खेल में उनको हरा दिया और अब वो बदला ले रहे हैं और तुम्हारे पास आके शिकायत की है. कछु बस चलियो न जब मैया सो झूठी आय लगायो. When nothing worked, he falsely complained about me eating dirt. मैया कहा मुख खोली दिखावहु तब हरि कछु मुस्कायो. Maya said, "Open your mouth and show me." Then Shri Krishna smiled. Ati hi prabal yog maya balarupa virat dikhayo. With his divine yog maya energy, he showed Maya uncountable universes in his tiny mouth. Lakhi kotin brahmand ek mukh yashumati ati akulayo. Seeing countless universes in his mouth, Yashoda became very afraid. Tab Kripalu bhai saumya sham imi damodar padpayo. Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj says, seeing Maya so frightened, Shri Krishna returned to his form as a child. In this way, he received the title of Damodar. Dam meaning rope, Udar meaning stomach, one whose hands are tied to his stomach with a rope. Mayari, main nahi marti khayo. बोलिए जगतगुरु तम श्री कृपालु जी महाराज की जय. श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय. बाल गोपाल कन्हैया लाल की जय. वात्सल्य प्रेम की जय. प्रेम रस मदिरा की जय. जय जय श्री राधे. जय जय श्री जय